And as the new wave of AI as well has come in, and we see MSPs and SMBs at the forefront of that, to be able to transform far quicker, honestly, than enterprises. And so we think that we are best placed to be doing that.
We believe this time is like no other. We refer to these as the tectonic shifts.
All the hyperscalers in the world, if you add them all together, managed services will be 1.5 times larger.
Because it is the customer buying behavior that has created the need for all of us to rethink our models.
Until we have data quality, the effectiveness of AI cannot be realized, and effectiveness of the partnerships cannot be realized.
Can you figure out first what your purpose is and how Microsoft can support your purpose and how you can support Microsoft's purpose? Now we have a partnership. It's the ultimate partnership.
Welcome to the Ultimate Guide to Partnering. I'm Vince Menzione, your host, and my mission is to help leaders like you achieve your greatest results through successful partnering. We just came off Ultimate Partner Live at Microsoft's Redmond campus, our most powerful event yet. Over 2 days, we gathered top leaders to tackle the real shifts shaping our industry. If you weren't in the room, this episode featuring Hayley McSpirit, the SVP of PAX8, brings us right to the edge of what's next in the SMB segment. Let's dive in. So this is going to be an incredible session we have the next half hour or so. You've heard me talk about this moment right now in the SMB space in a big way. We've talked about marketplaces, the marketplace moment. It's continuing to evolve. You heard about the incredible investments. You see, it's kind of the tip of the spear with Cyril talking about it, but you also heard Sandy talk about this as well. Just this incredible investment opportunity around marketplaces. There's another area where marketplaces are having another significant impact, and this is in the SMB business, right? We thought about and I'll just share as a Microsoft executive, we didn't quite know how to manage this SMB business when I was a partner leader or GM at Microsoft. It's handled very well, but there are organizations that do an even more incredible job. And there's a huge opportunity in this MSP space. In fact, there's going to be a workshop on MSPs. Hopefully you'll be able to attend that session. But we wanted to get the market leaders in the room, and we were very fortunate to have PAX8 in the room. And Hayley McSpirit is going to join me up on stage, really talking about the future of SMBs and this marketplace opportunity ahead of us. And for those of you who don't know PAX8, I'll have Hayley take us through it. But I'm delighted to invite Hayley McSpirit to the stage. Great to have her here. She didn't have to travel as far as some of us. Great to see you, my friend. You're going to be here, and I'm going to be on this side of you.
Thank you.
We got to work together at Microsoft, so it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You were in an incredibly innovative portion of Microsoft. I'll tell you tell your story. Yeah. But we got to interact when I was, after I left Microsoft, in fact, and was leading a large ISVs organization. So great to have you in the room.
Thank you for having me.
Up on the live stream as well. Great opportunity for a discussion today. So I'm so glad you could join us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So where would you like to start?
I've been talking about PAX8. I do think that PAX8 leaned in a very significant way on the SMB market. How are you different than the rest of the channel, though? And it seems like the evolution of PAX8 is important here, and how the company evolved and where it's going. But you're making waves in the market as well recently, and I think there's some conversation we'll have. We won't trip any wires in this conversation, but let's know that you've made a big noise in the market, which I think has been heard, right? And how does PAX8 see itself differently, and what is the industry getting wrong about PAX8?
Yeah, well, so let's say we like to make some waves, and we've recently launched some brand campaigns out there to disrupt the market. We're really going back to our roots in terms of how we like to be a disruptor, how we like to have a big place, and actually, I think also put focus on the SMB.
Yes.
So the SMB market is an area which we thrive in and which we see a huge opportunity. And so where we see a differentiator for us is we truly are a marketplace, and we truly bring together what our partners are looking for in terms of that best of breed technology and that complete customer lifecycle, which is the piece that I heard Nicole talk about earlier around how we really need to continue driving that. And I think PAX8 is different because we are a cloud-first organization as well. So we're very much focused on that. And as the new wave of AI as well has come in, and we see MSPs and SMBs at the forefront of that, to be able to transform far quicker, honestly, than enterprises. And so we think that we are best placed to be doing that as well.
Yeah, you mentioned, first of all, the cloud approach is incredibly significant. And we've had this conversation backstage. I've been to some of the events where some of the SMB market comes, some of the MSP market comes to. And it really isn't cloud first. It isn't cloud significant. And I've been in the room speaking at some of these groups and some of these meetings where a lot of these organizations are kind of playing in the past, right? And it's really great to see the embrace that PAX8 has had. And I haven't been to one. I'm hoping to come to your event this June.
I hope to see you.
I'm going to be there this June.
Event.
But I've heard they're really happening. So I thought maybe you could talk about that a little bit. There's almost like I don't want to use the word cult because that's always misinterpreted, but there is a very strong engagement with the partners at your events.
Absolutely. So, it is a great event. I think that's an opportunity to come together, and community first has been such a driver for PAX8 around the MSPs out there and being able to support them in the enablement of their journey. And so we put a lot into that as a way of bringing partners together, help them understand where the market's going. We've talked, I've heard our CEO, Scott Chasen, talk about the agentic AI and the future, and had some very bold statements last year on stage around AI, which actually has sort of moved forward very quickly. And so he's a little bit more of a visionary in terms of seeing where it's going. And I think that event is a way of us really starting off. It coincides a little bit with the end of the Microsoft fiscal year, beginning of the new ones, which is helpful as a big partner of ours, and we're very grateful. And to be able to build that momentum into the next 12 months of supporting those partners through growth. I mean, it's a lot of the sessions are focused on academy and focused on how do we help them build their business, and think about how do they integrate other solutions as they grow. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great place to come and hang out and spend time and get to know people, but also an opportunity to learn. And one of the things that you may have seen or be aware of is we also launched last year our Voyager Alliances program, which is our way of helping partners see where they are on their journey.
Interesting.
And so that's very much helps signify to the market and to our partners how we can help them build their business and what's available to them within the PAX8 ecosystem of services and other things to take advantage of.
So PAX8's not been in the market for 100 years. You came into a mature marketplace probably less than a decade, maybe a decade ago?
Around about that, yep.
And what has made PAX8 different? Like, how does PAX8 think about the market differently? How's your approach been different or unique?
Yeah, so a distribution is an interesting word inside of the walls of PAX8, and we like to say that we're not distribution. We aren't. We are a marketplace first, and we have been very bold about how we position that in the market and how we think about what we offer. And the reason why we see ourselves as differently is because we're founded on a marketplace and a platform. So if you hear any of those, the terminology. And when we think about the marketplace, that is the true moment of where the e-commerce comes together with the fulfillment and the whole life cycle of that from a licensing point of view, as well as product features and functions. But then the extensibility of our platform is where we really see the difference. So where we focus on the integration with third parties, where we're looking at the enablement of what we call embedded marketplaces. So how do we help others come towards PAX8 and really embrace the opportunity to enter into the SMB space, which for some is a little bit daunting or a little bit expensive if you're looking at building out into the true S of SMB. And so that's where we see ourselves as different to the market in that we're thinking truly about that and then underpinning it with AI.
So the value you're bringing to the partner software development companies and the like that want to enter the space is you're helping guide them into that SMB market.
Absolutely.
I look at some of the big ISVs that are in the room that'll be talking at our event, and a lot of them don't have a very strong SMB focus. Yep. So that's where you come in. You help guide them through that process.
Yeah, we do. So there is sort of two ways of looking at it when we think about SMB and what PAX8 can offer. One is those partners as MSPs who want to serve the SMB on an SMB size and stature themselves. So how do we help them continue to grow their business directly as our hero in this story? Yeah. But then when we look at those software houses, software development houses, or companies, or ISVs, or digital natives, I think we've got lots of different words, but however we want to term it, and look at how they want to enter into the SMB market, or perhaps reconfigure how they think about the SMB market. We see ourselves in a pivotal spot because we understand, we live and breathe it every day. I mean, where I would say is we serve the underserved in terms of that market segment. When I talk to Microsoft, they share that, we're really thinking about SMB, and I love Microsoft dearly. But when I say, what's SMB? There's like, well, 100 seats and above. And I'm like, yeah, 100 seats is still a little big when we think about our average customer. So there are lots of really small businesses out there. And so what we're positioning is let us help you by being your SMB custodian. Let's be your SMB as a service solution, how we can create either a modular approach that suits your business, or a complete package of service offerings that we can give to you that enables you to essentially park that SMB business outside of your day-to-day and alleviate some of that overhead cost for yourselves, and then we would partner to run that. But
interesting.
We can take it different ways.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating to me, in fact, because Nicole was on first this morning talking about this market, right? This small, medium market and SMB market. And it is a rich opportunity area. And that most partners shy away from it because they don't know how to address it, or they try and address it with the wrong set of skills or the wrong set of investments, like direct sellers calling on 100-person organizations are pretty small. So there's some things you do within the organization to help drive that, right? How do you address let's talk about the SMBs themselves.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them as a group of organizations. How do you think about the MSPs themselves?
The MSPs or the SMBs, or both?
Well, let's talk about MSPs. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I was
okay.
conflating the terminology here. But these are organizations that are managed service providers.
That's right. Yep.
And the kind of the growth of the MSP market started with the hardware business, right? It was like, I have a laptop, or I have like 50 laptops, and somebody needs to come service me.
Yep.
And it was very old school IT is the way I would look at it. How do you think about that market today?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. I actually heard the term, have you ever heard the term boot slammers? Or like...
Boot slammers?
I think it's that car, but like...
It's not this type of boot.
No,
okay.
no. Maybe it's like my British isms coming out. But essentially, the traveling salesman kind, the original reseller, the... How do I just break fix? What's that? Going through and just servicing individual customers with immediate support needs. And then as you look now and the evolution of the MSP, it really is that complete services package. Yeah. And we have some really fascinating conversations right now going on with some of our MSPs who are coming to us and saying, look, AI agents, we get it, we're on board, we want to do it. Help us create those and help us resell those through your marketplace. And how quickly can you do that, PAX8? And why are you not doing it now, right? Which we are. We're moving very quickly, and we've created a internal AI transformation office where we are research, development, creating, and how do we repackage that quickly and even faster. So that we can provide that context and also guidance for the MSPs, because they look to us and say, well, Microsoft and others, they're out there talking about the world of AI, help us become that. I mean, we truly believe, and a year ago I would have said, I don't think I do believe, but now I do, that one day that there'll be a completely autonomous MSP that will not have, as an AI agent, that will not have people. It will just be running on its own. So I think we got to be moving with the times, and I think that's where the MSP evolution of that next generation of MSP is coming faster than ever. So
it makes sense, and it also, from a scale perspective, makes a tremendous amount of sense. We had Sandy and Pat up here a little bit earlier talking about agentic AI and some of these ISVs and some of these organizations, and also how ISVs and SIs are merging capabilities. in some respects, you replace that SI component, right? You take that ISV solution set and layer it down to the MSP so they can deliver to the customer. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I also think that the lines between distinction of partner types is blurring.
Yeah,
I think that's no, but I think it's interesting to see. I mean, when you reference the MSP now evolving, I actually think the MSP is becoming an ISV and is becoming a systems integrator, and they're becoming all of these things because of the opportunity out there with what's available in terms of the tech and also in terms of what the market's asking. And I think that SMBs size of organization and MSPs serving the SMB are the ones that are going to be there first. I think that you see Copilot Chat, and we've engaged with Copilot Chat, and we think it's great. We're customer zero on Copilot, so we're all in. Nice. But the other component is we're seeing our MSPs actually move past chat because they're like, yeah, well, I'm all in, right? So I don't need to start with the chat. Whereas for the enterprise, that's a little different. There's a need to kind of bring that phased approach in because you've got a lot more investment to make. You've got a lot more processes to deal with. So yeah, we're kind of all in there.
So where's it heading? Talk about the future.
Robots. No, I don't know. Where's it heading? I mean, it might. For us, it's how do we nail what is the value proposition of AI solutions for SMBs and for MSPs serving the SMB, and how quickly can we get there, and how can we ensure that it is safe and the secureness to that? I think there was a conversation earlier about the data and getting the data right. I mean, that's our number one blocker out there, making sure that data is secure and data is right, so we can make headway in that. But we're very much in the exciting space.
So I know you're going to talk about this event that's coming up in June, which I'm thrilled to join you at. Tell us more about it and why the partners here and that are watching us on the live stream should join us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Beyond is our flagship event, and it's taking place in Denver the 8th through 10th. We also have Beyond in EMEA as well, which happens later on in the year in the October timeframe. And this is it's already 75% sold out, which is fabulous. We are just really excited to have such an amazing group of partners attend, and signed up as soon as Beyond was over last year. We have over 100 ISVs, our vendors, participating. We've brought in some amazing speakers in terms of industry speakers.
I've heard some names, some very interesting names.
Malcolm Gladwell was with us last year, and some Olympians as well on stage, which is always wonderful. But then in terms of the topic and content, it is about bringing the community together. It is about talking about the trends and really how do we enable those MSPs and what can they do to dig into the data as well as be hands-on. So there's a lot of enablement sessions. It's a great opportunity to really get a sense of what SMB communities are all about. And it's just a really fun, I mean, I've been to, and I'm sure you have, been to a lot of Microsoft events, which are fabulous. But I think we do it better.
Yeah. You've got some amazing speakers this year as well.
Got some good speakers.
I don't want to tip my hat that I know about some of the names that'll be there.
I know, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and then we also have our MSP event, a session that's going on this afternoon and tomorrow. So hopefully you'll have a chance to jump in with some of our leaders. Absolutely. Because I do think there's a huge opportunity for organizations to come on board in a bigger way.
I would love those conversations. I mean, we are really seeing an interest with those enterprise ISVs that are just like, I would love to have a conversation about how I can enter this SMB space, and we can do everything from design consulting to pre and post sale to customer lifecycle management. It's the whole package of that SMB as a service that we just would love to have more conversations, engage, and also learn. Like, what else are we seeing out there? What else can we learn from others? So. Yeah.
Well, we're delighted to have you today. Hopefully you get some time to spend. I know there's a lot of networking happening outside this room as well as inside this room. So hopefully you'll get to spend some time with our Ultimate Partner members here today.
Excited to do so. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So great to have you, Hayley.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ultimate Guide to Partnering. We're bringing these episodes to you to help you level up your strategy. If you haven't yet, now's the time to take action and think about joining our community. We created a unique place, UPX, or Ultimate Partner Experience, where leaders come to learn from each other. It's more than a community, it's your competitive edge. With insider insights, real-time education, and direct access to people who are driving the ecosystem forward, UPX helps you get results. And we're just getting started. We've got big plans for you this summer as we're taking this studio and we'll be hosting live stream and digital events here, and it's all coming to you soon. So visit our website, theultimatepartner.com, to learn more and join us. Now's the time to take your partnerships to the next level.